everybody. Welcome to Rude Awakening TV. We're back after a 1-week break. Last week, we had a family event. We have a grandchild coming into our family, so we had a party. Last week, we were cooking, the week before that, we were cooking with HelloFresh. And we were talking about the pros and cons of using HelloFresh. Well, since that stream, I tagged HelloFresh. That triggered a reach out, and they started sending me some kits to review and critique. And some of them I'm not sure if they're fully developed yet, if they're I was talking about how HelloFresh is vetted. Anyway, we've been receiving some of those kits, and we're going to come back to that in a future stream. Sound okay? Oh, you're asking that. We're going to come back to that in a future stream where we cook with HelloFresh or we critique those, because I've got 2 different people cooking with those kits. And we'll see, because it's not according to me, it's according to different families. So I have some pasta water, no coat today. No, I'm kind of going cash. We have a long stream today. I don't want to make it sound like that. We have an involved stream today. So we are going to be doing lots of fun things. We're talking about new projects we have. We're talking about new recipes, the season, the month of March. I like this look too. Thanks, Liz. We're talking about just getting ready for the spring, because trust me, it's coming. And right now it looks like we have lots of snow coming, but trust me, it's coming. Yes, sound is good. Good. I'm glad. Glad. So part of my job, part of my, what would you say, purpose, is to connect with people in the community. And we've been connecting with a lot of farmers and with primary food producers. That's fun. We're still doing that. But something organically happened this week where I met a group of women that are local, and I started to just talk to them about what they do. And I found a new interest. And it's nothing new. It's homesteading, and it's nothing new. But I have found a collection of people who homestead. And then in my research, I discovered that there are young homesteaders who have a purpose to feed family. There are middle-aged homesteaders who have a purpose to just reconnect. And we may even have another group of feminists who are homesteading to connect with the earth and connect with their own abilities. We're going to talk about those people that I met, but right now we're going to go to drink o'clock. Now today we're making a raspberry mojito, and it's a real mojito. It's not one of those where I say, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I don't have any mint. I have all the good stuff today. So we are going to make that. There is also the so counter coming. We are starting it. She's gonna muddle, you guys. Wait. I'm going to clear my throat first. No, I'm not muddling. I got to watch stuff though, okay? I've got pasta water that I preheated. It's not even a muddle. This is a different way to do a mojito. I made a simple syrup. Okay, this is what happens as soon as I start. Oh, no, it's a little bit of muddling. It's not just entirely muddling. Okay, so, frick, I just did it. We're going to start our raspberry mojito. What I did yesterday is I took some 6 ounces of raspberries, some sugar, some water, 2 times already, and mint. And I made a simple syrup, and then I strained it twice. Once it wasn't really, and then I muddled it. I muddled the raspberries and the mint, and then I strained it through a tea strainer so that it was really a clear syrup. And that's how we're going to make our mojito today. So muddling, yes, but not live muddling. So we're going to start off with, I think I just said it again. We're going to start off with 1 shot of white rum. I'm going to do the 2 drinks together. Yesterday I tried to make the mojito right into the glass. Don't try that, because when you do, I found that the mix The lime juice and the raspberry muddled simple syrup, it didn't mix very well. Now the contest today, for those of you who are, wow, that sounds nice. It's very nice. The contest today is there's a tool that I use every single week, and today I'm not using it. So if you can come up with that tool, let me know what it is. One shot, did you see what I just did? I put it into the simple syrup. All right, I'm going to put the rest into our drink. Not Thomas this time. I put it right into the simple syrup. So the simple syrup now has a little bit more lime juice. Okay, I'm going to stir this up. Chainsaw. I don't have a chainsaw, but that's not one I use. I use this tool. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons for each drink of this simple syrup. Yesterday I used 3, and we found the drink to be a little too sweet. And for me to say it's too sweet, it had to be pretty sweet. Yeah, it's not the whisk. Good try, Mobo Reno. It's not the whisk. It's a tool I use every single week. Sometimes I use it 2 times in a stream, 3 times. I use it every single day. Today I just discovered I don't need it. I didn't have to prep it. So let me know. Gonna put the drink stuff over there. Let's shake it up. Now you'll see, like, that simple syrup wanted to settle to the bottom, so it was really important to shake this. So we're going to divide this between it, and then we're going to top it up with club soda. It's nice. It's nice. There might be a third drink in here. No, I'll divide it. Top it up with some club soda. So I had a raspberry simple syrup, white rum, a little bit of lime juice, and then topped it up with club soda. We're going to garnish it with raspberry, not a strainer, and 1 leaf of mint, a couple strawberries, a leaf of mint. Oh, strawberries, raspberries. I'm just not thinking clear. Okay, I get the first, well, you can have it. Last night, I don't know if anybody else has this amnesia thing that happens, I don't know. Last night, 2 o'clock was my time to wake up, and went back to sleep about 4:30.
I think you have insomnia.
Did I just say amnesia? Well, it may be amnesia as well, because I couldn't remember that I was up in the night. Insomnia. Hey, Flanders is here, welcome. I was just explaining my amnesia in the middle of the night. This is good. This is good, it's a little bit strong, you know. All right, we are going to start our next, well, wait a minute. I'm going to drink this for a bit. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about some women I met, some things that are going on. I met a really nice woman who started to, just explain what she does. And I discovered that she is a maple syrup, and I'm not going to say farmer. She's a maple syrup producer, homesteader. So she produces this along with her husband, Lori and Andrew Schulk. They produce it here in Fenland Falls, and they only produce a small amount. I think she told me that they have 175 taps on their trees. So they produce this, and they use it for their own family. They draw the sap from their 125 taps, maybe it was 175, and then they evaporate it, bottle it, and they just give it to family, friends, and themselves. So it's not a commercial business, but it is running. It's one of those that seems to bridge between commercial and homestead. Anyway, there's an alternative to sow. Anyway, she was telling me about how she produces this maple syrup. Then she told me that there's a story behind it. They were starting to draw the maple syrup, and a bear came on their property and consumed all of the sap. Their first year, I think it was 2018, the bear consumed all the sap that they had drawn, that they were preparing to evaporate into maple syrup. That brought the name of their business to Honey Bear Maple Farm. We do have a couple photos that she sent us, and we've scheduled, we haven't scheduled. You can't schedule maple farms because she's going to let us know when the sap is really running. It's starting to, but she wants us to be there for when it really starts to flow. Yep. So you can see in this photo, there's their product, and there's Lori at the bottom, and Lori and Andrew on the other side. And you can see a little bit of how the sap is being brought in from the trees. So I just did it. Anyway, I also discovered that the sap, some people drink it. They boil it a little bit, they pasteurize it, and they drink the sap. And it's supposed to be very hydrating, antioxidant, sort of like a coconut water, but it's not as sweet as the syrup. So we are going to be going to Honey Bear Maple Farm sometime in March. We don't know when, because March is a little loaded month for us. We're waiting a lot of things. We have a tour on Shea Farm, Shea Lind Farms. The family is Shea, and we will be touring that farm March 9th and bring it to you March 19th. We're also, there's this grandchild that's going to be born at any time, so we have to be prepared for that. We have got a busy March. On March 15th, there's a huge project reveal that we haven't been able to talk to you about. And I know it sounds cryptic, but you'll get it when it's revealed. So we have the Honey Bear Maple Farm that could be any time when she calls us and says, let's go. We have got the grandchild that could be any time. We've got Shaylin Farms, definitely March 9th. And then on March 15th, we have the project reveal that will show you we have been doing farm tours. We just weren't able to bring it to you until this other project is revealed for someone else. So it's a large collab that we need to wait for them. Also, we met another homesteader, and her name is Catherine. And she invited us into her home to show us how she creates food and how she is in connection with her own property. And she's invited us into her kitchen to come and see what she does, how she preserves food, and how she feeds her family off of her own land. That's going to be something fun. That might be the end of March. It might be the beginning of April. Everything is getting planned. Right now, we're going to continue with the tool contest. No one yet has discovered my lack of tool. It's not, hey, look at this tool. What is it? This is, what tool am I not using? We're going to start creating a recipe that I developed, and it's an Easter bunny roll. Let's bring over this. Now this is a project for my culinary arts course that I had to develop a recipe with the proper formula for hydration and for sweetness and for the right kind of flour, and then create it on a stream. This is what you're doing. Now, I've run through this on a dry run, but today's the first live with it. Recipe? No, not yet. It's going to start off with 3.5 cups of flour. But I don't really like to do it that way, but I have to show both because how does the drink taste? I missed it. It was delicious or not. Oh, wait. This is for Speakeasy. It's delicious. It's delicious. It's delicious. It is delicious. He catches me all the time. I'm just not used to this rum. I try to be like, hey, let's have a drink. I can't drink alcohol. I like to do, because I go to an American university, I have to develop my recipes in imperial and metric. So today we have 3.5 cups of flour, which is 380 grams. So I develop recipes both ways. When you say 3.5 cups, it all depends on how you measure it and how you scoop it. And that's not an accurate way. So even, you know, the King Arthur American School of Baking uses grams. But we start off, though, with only 2 cups of that. And so I'm just going to put in, you've got 380 grams. We're just going to put in about that much. Hold some back. You don't want to do it yet. What you want to do is you want to hydrate this first. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to make it's like a tangzong method, but you're going to sort of make a roux, but there's no flour in it. You'll see what I mean. The next thing is, in the dry, you're going to put in 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. Notice I don't say the little sachet bags or whatever that is, because not everybody buys it that way. I buy it in a larger container. 2 1/4 teaspoons, put that right into the flour. And then you're going to take 1 cup of milk, whole milk preferably, and you're going to put that into a saucepan because I'm going to heat it. That's going to help activate my yeast. I'm going to put in half a cup of granulated sugar, or 100 grams. Put that right into the milk. And then I'm going to put in a 1/3 cup, or 75 grams of unsalted butter. That is room temperature, but still, it's going to go into that milk. And we're going to heat that. You're going to heat that, though. If there's anybody in the chat who's ever made bread, you know if anything is too hot into your yeast, you're going to kill your yeast. So we're going to use a thermometer, and we're going to bring it to 120. Then we're going to put in 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, not regular salt, and we're going to put that on the stovetop to warm up, to melt. I'm putting it low because if I get it too hot, then it'll kill my yeast. I only want it at 120, and I've got my thermometer ready. Speakeasy had a great weekend. I don't know if anybody in the chat was following the Speakeasy channel this past weekend. Friday night, they had Jacob and Dean. I'm sorry if I don't know last names, but go onto the Speakeasy channel and watch the VOD. It was hilarious. Chris, Dean, Jacob, and Allison together are quite the quartet. It was hilarious. And then last night was the friend discos, so that was fun. So I imagine the crew at Speakeasy is a little on the tired side today. I'm going to use my thermometer. Sorry that I have to be over here. I'm going to use my thermometer to start this melting. I want to watch it because I just want my butter to melt. I don't want that to be too hot. What I've got in here is about maybe, let's say, 200 grams of flour, all-purpose flour. I've got 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. And in the saucepan, I have 1 cup of milk, half a cup, 100 grams of sugar, 1/3 cup, or 75 grams of butter, and about 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. So let's just make sure we get that melted, heated. You know, a lot of times, not on. A lot of times I pre-make a lot of things. Yeah, I bet Speakeasy is one tired baby. A lot of times I pre-make a lot of things. Today I'm chilling out and we're making live. I understand if you need to go about your business, keep me on in the background. So I got it at 75. I'm going to keep it going. So this Easter bunny roll is like a cinnamon roll. Let's just compare it to that. So I did a sweet, this is a sweet, you can see the sugar in it, a sweet roll, a sweet bread. And we're going to not use cinnamon, we're going to use orange marmalade. I like that idea. It's nice, it appeals to children, and it's a great breakfast for Easter Sunday or just any time. You'll see there's a little cute twist to it as well. You may have seen it on my Instagram. I tried it once, it worked. I don't know if it's going to work live. So we are drinking this raspberry mojito. It's delicious. $116, $122. Well, okay, I've got 108. It's really important to not have it hot. Hot is just going to mean, don't put it on a plastic board. It's just going to mean that you're going to kill the yeast. All right, now you can see I have to mix this up, and I'm lucky that I've got a granite countertop. You can't see that, I'll do it over here, but it's a really good cooling down process. So what I do is, see, I've got it at 134. Can I put that in there? It's not worth it, don't do it. What I'm going to do is mix this. Now, if you don't have a stand mixer, you can do this by hand. Just a lot more elbow grease. $129's too hot. Good. No, you can take it out so I can hear, but I can't hear me too. No. Okay, we're good. All right, our milk mixture just came down to 120, so watch that. So we're going to mix that in. I got an echo when you have it. We're going to mix that into the yeast and the flour mixture. And I can see, if you use the overhead, you can see too, you can see that the yeast is starting to bubble because the sugar's hit it, the warm milk has hit it. We're in business. You can see it starting to bubble. I'm going to use two different tools on this batter, or dough, or bread dough, bun, roll. I'm going to use this one at the beginning, and then I'm going to use the bread hook. I use this one first, and then I'll add the remaining flour. So I have to go over to this. Good, just want to mix it a little bit, and then I'm going to add 2 eggs. These are room temperature eggs. Anybody in the chat tell me why it's important to use room temperature eggs? Anybody? Now, if you all of a sudden realize, oh, I forgot to take my eggs out, I don't know. Well, it's because a cold egg will change the temperature of my mixture. And I've just taken a lot of time to make sure that it's at 120. If I drop in a cold egg, I've changed the temperature. If you find yourself in a position where you forgot to take eggs out and something says room temperature, put them in a bucket or a bowl or even the sink of soapy water. Warm them up that way. It'll work. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter, the shower, like the soapy dishwater, yeah. Okay, what I have, I'm going to bring it over because I'm going to change. What I have is something that looks like a cake batter. Of course, that's not what we want. I'm going to clean off this tool because there is a lot of flour stuck on there that we don't want to lose that because that's part of the weight. Now remember, a recipe that's being developed, newly developed, I mean, when you find one in online or you find one in a cookbook, that recipe has been in existence for a while before it's just thrown out. Or if it's just thrown out, you make it and you find that didn't work. Could be that it wasn't tested, wasn't tried, it didn't evolve. So this recipe is in the works of evolving. If you think I could add something to this, I've even considered adding a little bit of orange zest to it. Okay, we're going to go to our bread hook, but in that what we're going to do is we're going to add in the rest of our flour. This is a very loose, soft, sticky dough. Don't be afraid of that if you're making these. Ouch. Okay, let's get that going. That's going to take a little bit of time. We want some gluten to form in there. All right, in the meantime, I'm just going to double check. Now, we are using, the filling is orange marmalade. I kept it in the jar because I didn't want you to think, oh, now I have to make marmalade. You can buy this. I bought a Smucker's brand because I think it has a lot of fruit in it. And that's what we're using. So just purchase it. Like mini medieval weapons, they are. Now it's looking good. I found that when I made it for a few times before this, blacksmith quality, I added a little bit more flour. I wasn't quite happy with how much flour I had. So I added a little bit more because I found it wasn't exactly how I wanted it to look. So when you see that 380, that is the added amount. It's like you can say that it's 3.5 cups, but a generous 3.5 cups. Play with it a little bit. I've got this flour out because we're going to need it to mix. What? Oh, smile times. You know what? I forgot to put this flour in. All right, I'm going to just get a spatula and I think I under mixed this. Let me put in a little bit more. I thought I had to hold back, but I don't think I had to. All right, now I can get. Hey, Smile Times, we made a welcome. Come on in, grab a seat, and enjoy what we're doing today. We made a raspberry mojito. I muddled today. I muddled yesterday, actually. And we made a raspberry mojito, and we talked about what's coming up for March. And then we are in the process of mixing a bread dough for a brand new recipe of some orange Easter bunny rolls. Now that's looking really nice. Okay, I like what it's looking like. I'm going to turn it up because you want it to come away from the bowl. I do wish I had the overhead down into that one so that you could see it. We're going to be making some homemade pasta after we get these rolls sort of figured out. Did you figure out a Peeps cocktail? Oh, okay. On Andrea's stream the other day, we were talking about a Peeps cocktail, and I was looking into that because, as you know, I love Peeps. I could live on Peeps. Flanders sent me a picture of a Pepsi product made with Peeps. I don't know, it's going too far. But this cocktail idea, still a little bit soft. I'm going to add a bit more in. Like I said, those amounts I put in there, we're still playing with that. Peeps cocktail. So there's Peeps cocktail, but I find that they're all like these creamy cocktails, and then you garnish it with a peep. For Peeps, but there was nothing that said, well, maybe there's a marshmallow liqueur. I could not come across anything. I researched it, and everything was just more like a garnish. There must be a marshmallow liqueur. Still don't like how the dough's coming together. We're going to put a little bit more flour in. We'll use the rest of this to do our rolling out. Smile Times, I'm not sure how you roll, but we're also talking today about homesteaders. John has many Peeps questions. Well, hey, Bring it, John, because I'm not a peep authority, but I have been a peep consumer in my day. So bring the peeps questions, but we're talking about homesteading as well today. So I don't know, has anybody on here considered themselves a homesteader? And maybe somebody in the chat can give us their definition of what a homesteader is. Yeah, now we got something happening here. Looking good. But you have to really, this is all, you can do this by hand. It's not. Homesteading has nothing to do with MAGA, at least I hope it's not. All right, I'm going to take this off the hook, let it off the hook, and we're going to use the overhead. Oh gosh, I can't use my hands. I don't know why, but on stream I don't like to use my hands as much as when I'm actually cooking. Okay, you can see that this is a soft, high hydration batter. That's okay. You want these to be tender and sort of pull away because they're going to replicate a cinnamon roll. We'll get there today. We'll get there. Yeah, well, it's you know, I don't even know if it's pretending to be. What if you consider yourself a homesteader, it's because you, at some point they may have even called it like, in my day, as Nikki likes to say, my day, they probably said Susie Homemaker. And it's so sexist to call us that because we were homemakers, we were providers, not a homesteader. Yes, why not? You're a homesteader with diverse energies, that's all. Okay, I am going to put this dough, or this batter, it's so soft, it's okay. Don't panic about that. We're going to put this into a lightly greased bowl. This is a little soft, but you'll see once it rises, it's going to be a really lovely roll. It's pretty soft. I can smell the yeast though, it's nice. So you can see that I'm putting this into a plastic lightly greased bowl. And that is going to, I'm going to put this on the soap because that's a mess. That's a mess. So John has questions about peeps. Cool. Bring them. Maybe somebody in the chat's also a peep authority. Let's let that sit for a bit. Okay, I'm going to clean up and push that back. I think we're done with that. All right, I'm going to put a lid on this. And I'm going to go put it on the proofing pad. And I'm going to bring out, yeah, I just want, would not be chatting homesteading. It's a very dog whistle for white nationals. Oh. What? Homesteaders live off the land. National stuff right now. Okay. Well, that's a different type. That's a entirely different take on it. So the homesteaders that I talk to are, well, you know what? Let's talk about that more. Yeah. Make agricultural gross, America. I think homesteading and being self-sufficient is super cool, but it sounds like way too much work for me. It sounds like a lot of work. It might be a very satisfying thing, though. Woohoo! Wait till you see what I've created over here. All righty. This is the dough that I made. It's beautiful. I'm really happy with this. This is the dough I made. You'll have to get that out of the way. About maybe 11 to 15. So we're going to roll this one out. I'm going to do it on this board. This is a little sketchy to do it on this board, but we'll try. So I just put a little bit of flour. It might look like a lot of flour, but I put a little bit. This is a very high hydration flour. So we want to make sure, look at how soft that is. It's like a pillow, and it comes right out because it's a plastic bowl. I don't use plastic a lot, but I do for this. I know. Look at that dough, and there's something so satisfying about seeing dough, isn't there? Look at that. It's soft, it's warm, it's pliable. I know. You would really like, the smell is a warm, milky, sweet, yeasty. It's nice. So, well, the homesteaders I talked to here are people who are trying to fight high costs of food, and they're also just trying to respect the land they live on. They have discovered that they bought property. Now, one of the homesteaders that we're going to be bringing to you, or one of the self-sufficient, look at my apron, one of the self-sufficient people that we're going to be interviewing and talking to you about is something you might find interesting, because she left a very urban city that you're familiar with and decided to change her lifestyle. So she came to this area and purchased a home, and without a lot of experience in this kind of work, decided to renovate her own property, forage on her own property, grow gardens, find seeds, do all of those things. And she's finding it fascinating in that she left this urban hustle bustle of a job to come here and struggle through what it takes. She is finding that because she's on a budget, she is looking to make food stretch, and that's part of homesteading, is to find, I mean, the real definition of it is to find ways to make food for your family without going to unsustainable sources. So she is looking to local sources. There's a bee farmer who will bring a beehive to your property. She's looking into that stuff. She's very in tune to what it's going to take. Now this dough, we want to make it into about an 8 by 12. So let's get a tape measure, because I do that. Seems a little thick to me. So this is a little bigger than that. This is 12, and this is a bit bigger. Let's go, this doesn't matter. Let's go this way. Seems like a lot, and I don't know about this board. It's not. The thing is, you want to try and make it rectangle so that you have an even rectangle to roll. Yeah, I did this one at about 11. It takes 1 hour. That one on the proofing pad now is going to take about an hour. Okay, it'll stretch back. That's because the gluten is still forming. All right, we have this rectangle. Let's simply now put marmalade. My hands are full of flour, so it didn't want to go. Brand new can of it. It's simple. It's not like, it's really stiff at the top. It's not like you had to prepare anything, but imagine that, how yummy this is going to be. So I just take the marmalade, and I'm going to spread it on the surface. I have found that the world is a little bit of a landmine, though. You never know. I mean, it's probably always been like that, but you never know what people's political beliefs are. And then, you get into discussing, and you think you found somebody like-minded, and all of a sudden they mention something like, a political statement, and you realize, oh, we don't align. What do you do with that?
Right. No, it's fine.
Dollops of it, I guess. Now, I don't want to go too thin. Now, leave a little bit of space right at the edge. And the reason for that is we're going to roll it, and we want a little bit of non-marmaladed top. Non-marmaladed. I think this area over here is a little thin. But if you put it too thick, it's just going to melt out and not make a nice... Okay, I like it. I'm going to put this over here. At some point in this stream, before I go on to the pasta, we're going to stop. It's annoying too how they hide those political statements in commonplace ideas and words. Give me an example of that, because I know they try and soften it because they know it's not maybe a respected or a common belief or politically savvy. Homesteading is a perfect example.
Oh yeah, that sign. Do this.
Oh, right. Okay, sure. I found that when I was talking to a few people about this idea, I heard it. I heard the homesteading also meant, like the natural living, the anti-vaxxers. I heard that as well. But we are going to stick with the people who are really just like in this area, there's a lot of natural land. We're going to stick with the people who are doing it for the best reasons. Tom keeps telling me I'm putting my head in the camera, but that's how it goes. All right, it's a little bit long for this board, but you can see that I am trying to make an even roll of this. This dough feels really soft. It feels lovely. You want to then take parchment-lined sheets. And the reason we don't often use parchment-lined, the reason for that, which is really dumb, it is. The reason for that is because there's marmalade, and the marmalade will seep out when it heats, and it may burn, and it may make a caramelized mess on your sheet. So use the parchment line. I'm going to get a really sharp knife. All my knives were sharp yesterday, so we're good. I'm going to cut off, if you use the overhead, I'm going to cut off the very end because that is not very attractive. Now, I made these once, and I believe that they were a little bit bigger. Maybe I'm going to make this one bigger. All right, so you can see that I've got a spiral here. What I'm going to do is let's just get them all cut. I should have this into 12. And if you see that I'm squishing them, try not to do that. I've seen people use a string, a dental floss, and that makes it just really go into a nice roll. I'm going to put the bigger ones here because I think those will work for me. So reshape it.
Ceramic knives?
Serrated knives,
Ceramic.
yeah. What?
Ceramic.
Ceramic, no. Oh, anyone ever use ceramic knives? I have. They're a little, they hold up their edge. They're kind of a disposable knife. I don't think you can beat stainless steel or forged steel. The ceramic knives are impossible to sharpen. Okay, I have made that tray a little bit bigger, and you'll see why. So I'm going to put 6 on each sheet. This sheet is going to be the ones that maybe didn't quite go as big because, it's the end. All right. I'm going to cut this little tip off because it's not going to be conducive to a nice roll. All right. Oh yeah, I could put these little bits on, sure, for a little, not to waste food. Now, here's why this becomes a bunny roll. Let me wash my hands. The problem with using a dark colored apron is that you get flour on it and you're doomed. Okay, unroll it about 1 inch. Take some scissors, snip it, and twist it so that you've got bunny ears. You can tap a little bit like that so that it's going to look like a bunny ear. Nope. Snip it and twist them so that they're bunny ears. There, I like that because I think that they are going to rise nice like that. All right. You'll see when they rise, they tend to take on that bunny ear look. I think this is going to appeal to children but it's also quite cute for us. There's a nice one. That one looks cute as a bug or a bunny. Okay, twist them, or you can make them straight. You can make them close up and just make them look more like a bug. I kind of like, I'm looking in that direction. I kind of like when they go out. Now we are going to glaze these, and the glaze does tend to make them look quite nice. So those are going to be put in to proof for another 30 minutes. I'm not going to do the other pan because, you know, we can do those just like that. I have to put these on the proofing sheet. These have to sit for another 30 minutes. So I'm going to, missing tool, a spatula. Nope. No. We have used a spatula today. I'm going to cover those. I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes. That's 27, good enough. So I've set it for 30 minutes, and when that 30 minutes goes down, we're going to be ready to put those in the oven. I think you're going to see these full circle today. I am going to clean up my area and get ready to make some pasta. Tool contest. It's something I use all the time. When I can, like, as the stream goes on, I'll give you a little bit more hints. There's 2 colors on this tool, and every time I use it, people say, that's a great tool, I wish I had one. Today it did not come out. So Tom, I think, has just clued in what it is, but you can do this if you want. They're so freaking cute, and when they rise a little bit more, and then you bake them, and then we're going to make a powdered sugar and marmalade icing glaze and put it on them. It's not only cute, it's also really delicious. It's a nice take on cinnamon rolls, and I think I might have nailed something here. I think I might get a good mark on that project. Also, I think the whole grandma thing appeals, so we'll go with that. While I'm cleaning up some dishes here because that made a little bit of a mess, we are going to go on to something else. Now we're going on to pasta. There is a YouTube series that I don't know if any of you have seen, maybe not. It's called Pasta Grannies, and it is nonas, I don't know why they don't call them nonas, it is nonas from all over Italy that make a specific type of pasta, and they're known for it, and they're just home cooks, they're not industry cooks. And so this series is amazing. Some of them don't speak English, most of them don't, but there's translators, and what they make with rough tools. Some of them are using wood stoves or a little tiny piece of wood to make their gnocchi. It's really cool. We're gonna go to that while I'm cleaning up. Watch this Pasta Granny.
Marietta is 99 years old. Home is Calabria, but she lives with her daughter Angela in Rome. Wherever she is, she likes to grow herbs and vegetables, and here she is on the roof terrace with her pots.
Chiamo Marietta, sono da Calabria e faccio una pasta con la verdura dell'orto.
First she makes her pasta. She uses semola rimacinata or durum wheat flour,
Un po' di sale
a pinch of salt and enough water to bring the dough together.
e cominciamo a pastare. E faremo la pasta in casa.
She's had over 90 years experience making pasta, and she's never measured the ingredients.
Marietta, quanti anni hai adesso?
99. Fino a marzo. No, 98.
Devi iniziare a 99.
Oh, 99. 99 e poi non marcio. È andato a lavorare, era sposato.
She kneads the dough until it is smooth. This needs to rest for a few minutes.
E questa praticamente è fatta che...
Me la fai vedere qui? Questa è riposata.
Riposata, sì.
Marietta has already prepared some, but first, a coffee break. She rolls out the dough, making it slap. She turns it every time.
Deve venire giù, appena, invece è venuto un po'.
Mi piace, è troppo grosso.
È buona, siamo tagliare, vedete voi come dobbiamo fare? Se vogliamo fare, ma tagliamo, farò il sugo. È pronto. Che è pronto? Sul momento è pronto, no? Vedete voi che lo capiamo male.
Marietta preps the greens for her sugo alla contadina, or farmer's sauce.
Questa è la cardella, l'olotto mio, questa è la cipollina, questa è la betola,
Bietola.
e il cavolo. Cavolo. Cavolo, come si chiama? Un cavolo, non lo chiama. La cicoria.
Marietta chops everything very small. Daughter Angela helps.
Dammi la cipolla.
Ok.
Dammi la cipolla, eccola qua.
Vegetables and herbs vary according to the season and availability, but onion, celery, and carrot are always included.
I lupini, i ghetti. Dice che no. Vabbè. Hai capito? Io ho lavorato sempre. Non ce lavoro in campagna. Se vuoi campare al mondo, devi tornare da fare tutto.
Si perde mai.
Non si perde mai. Però no, un altro pezzetto.
Marietta adds some olive oil to a sauté pan and adds the veg mixture. This is homemade tomato passata. She adds a good pinch of salt and a little water to stop the sauce from sticking.
Dai, tu ridere mi fai, che da volta che non hai, con mamma te stai.
Marietta leaves it to simmer while she makes the tagliatelle.
Metti il coperchio. Ma coperchio, e se piano piano, fa bello bello, sa bene un poco.
Quindi questa ricetta che stiamo facendo è il segreto della vita lunga.
Vita lunga, sì. Altro che no. Questa è carne come un uomo ne mangiavamo. Non c'erano soldi.
She rolls the pasta around a pin and slips it off. Then she cuts the ribbons, shaking them out to stop them sticking.
I know her tools, Smile Times, her tools. She was using what I constituted a butter knife, and she was really, all of that series, and Texas Cryptid said they also know that series. I am fascinated with it. You know, once you start watching a video, you get prompted for it. we're going to go to some pasta. And I'm so bold doing pasta after somebody like that. First thing you want to do, we are going to be now, you know, the mountain in the middle with the eggs in the, or mountain around of flour and the eggs in the middle. You know that system, and I've used that system. I always thought, like, oh, you know, this is a big deal doing that. And then I noticed that some of my colleagues in my culinary course make it in a food processor. And I'm like, why am I not doing that? It's simple, and it made great pasta the first time I tried it. If you don't have a food processor, you can go to the Pasta Granny routine. We're using a food processor. So I have my food processor with the metal blade. I considered that to be a little bit too harsh, but apparently everybody does that. First thing you want to do is use a scale. In this stream and in this kitchen, we weigh stuff. Measuring will only be inaccurate. So we want to do, I didn't tear out my, I'm going to do it though. Okay, we are going to put the bowl that we're measuring on, we're going to tear it out. And by tearing it out, you mean that you're getting it down to 0. And then we want 156 grams of 00. So we're going to just see if I had the right measurement. $155. Okay. I think I spilled. There, it's 156 now because of what was on the rim. We're going to put that into our food processor. Then you want 156 grams of, tear it out again, of semolina flour. So you're using 00 flour and you're using semolina flour. They're similar. The combination of them is going to make a really silky, smooth. And what is 00 flour? It's really fine powder. It's lovely. Semolina is going to give you some flavor and a little bit of texture. So let's go to another 156 grams. Now you see what I'm doing with this mixer. I'm dipping in. When you do that, it compresses the flour. So that's why I weigh, because you know, if you compress it like that, you could get way too much in whatever vessel you're using. I can hear my pasta pot behind me boiling in anticipation of the pasta we're going to make. So I'm getting 156. There it is. Okay, we can close this up. That's 156 00 and 156 of semolina. We're going to put that together in this food processor. Put in a ½ teaspoon of kosher salt. And of course, what's next is the eggs. I want 3 large eggs. So the ratio, if you're going to make fresh pasta, and you could do that today, even if you use all-purpose flour, it will work. It'll just be a little coarser. All of that pasta is flour, water, eggs, not water, flour, eggs, salt, and a little tiny bit of ice cold water to marry it together. You could make that today even if you don't have 00. You don't need a food processor. You make it right here. But you say, well, how much do I make? Do 100 grams of flour, 1 egg for each portion. Each person will eat about 100 grams of flour and 1 egg together. You can see that I have done here a little over 300 grams of flour and 3 eggs. That's going to serve 2 healthy portions, and I say healthy meaning extreme, or 3 people. I'm going to add the eggs. So during that Pasta Granny video, I cleaned up from our first dish, and you might hear my dishwasher in the background. It helps not getting complete mess. And our Easter bunny rolls are proofing for about 30 minutes. All right, let's start to blend that. We're just going to pulse it, and you'll see. You want to get it to look a little bit like little nuggets, like rice, not breadcrumbs, like rice. Don't overmix it. Pew, pew, pew. It sounds like it. I'm really hooked on that pew, pew, pew. All right, a little bit of oil. Some people find this to be not authentic, but I like a little bit of oil. I'll also use the oil again later. And here's the key, is a couple tablespoons of ice cold water. So I just take it right from a glass of ice cubes. You want to be mixing it when you pour. I'm going to put, yesterday I put about 3. I found it to make a real nice. Yeah, as soon as it makes a ball, you're done. I'm going to put 1 more because I don't have a ball. There you go. All right, going to put that into the water and take this off, and you'll see. I'm just going to smear this little bit of flour over here and use it. Now, could I have mixed this by hand? Sure could have, but look how fast it made that. This pasta, you know, that's a good point. I got some flour stuck in here. Let's use it. We don't want to waste anything. Okay, and we're going to clean out all of this. Use the flour that didn't get mixed at the bottom because it's supposed to go in. Your apron is a disaster. Yeah, it is a disaster, but that's real cooking. That is real today. I usually, I'm really shocked by you've made such a huge mess. It's not that huge. Now, sort of mix it again. Is that so thing still?
Nobody's saying, you haven't said it.
You know what? I'm getting the so out of my vocabulary. It's an ice cube, don't want that. I'm getting it out. And my apron is not a disaster. This is an apron of a cook. This is real. And that's the problem with using a dark apron. If you're choosing an apron, like we're talking serious right now, if you're choosing an apron, there's other ones that you can use. I always tend to go towards dark ones. But, all right, you can see what I've got. I've got a lovely ball of pasta dough here. It's pliable. I'm going to drop a little bit of olive oil on it, and I'm going to massage that in. That will make sure that I don't get that crust on the top. You don't want that. And then I just sort of blend that in. Today seems like everything dough, doesn't it? Lovely, lovely. It still has some texture that's not so silky, but that's okay. You'll see what we do with the machine. We're going to put this on a plate like this, and then we're going to cover it with some cling wrap. I love that word, cling wrap. I love that word, cling wrap. Thanks, Liz, for being so vocal in the chat. Seems like everybody else is just sitting back chilling. We're going to put that there. I'm going to wash my hands because I've made a disaster of it. We tidied up the pasta. It's going to set. You can see it over here. It's setting. It's going to just let that gluten relax because it needs to. It's fighting me right now if I tried to work with it. We're going to make a marinara sauce. Now we have 8 more minutes before the Easter bunny rolls can go in. So we're going to make a marinara sauce. You know what? This is as simple as what your creative abilities will allow you to make. This is easy. So you're going to just heat a pan, if this is on. Yeah, I like my induction because it's immediate. Heat a pan. Question, do you put the oil in first or do you heat your pan first? First person who can respond to that is going to get another hint about the tool that's missing. Nobody. Oh, repeat the question, please. Do you heat your pan first or do you put the oil in a cool pan? Which way does that go? Let's see. Heat the pan first. Yay, Liz has unlocked another clue to the tool that's missing. The tool that's missing, first clue was that it has 2 colors to it. Those 2 colors relate to its purpose. So they relate to its purpose. Now, if you can think of what 2 colors that might be, It's a good hint. If you can think of what those two colors might be, you'll know right away what the tool is. Heat pan first. Yay, Mobo Reno gets another clue because she's right first. She's right also. Heat the pan. How do I even know if the pan's heated? Like, slow, but well, you know, internet. The way I'm going to check to see if my pan is heated is I'm going to heat it. I can tell it's not because I can put my hand here. No, I'm going to take some drops of water and go, and if it goes with the water and beads up, it's ready. If it doesn't, your pan's not hot enough yet. It's not worthy of your oil. I'll put, woo, it's getting a little hot now. Okay, didn't bead up yet. That's your hint anyway. You know, it's good enough. So nobody, so Mobo Reno, the tool that we're not using, it has two colors. Those two colors relate to its purpose. And so Mobo Reno came on and she gets another hint of that tool. The tool has handles. It has two handles on it.
All tools have handles.
No, well, wait, no, not all tools have handles. Our original OG tool doesn't have handles. Where's the original OG tool? This one. There's no handle. That's the original one that started this. All right, I think my pan's hot. Can I put a guess in chat? Yes, you can. Chat away, smile times. Yeah, there we go. Did you hear it? It's ready. Smile times is, I think, on it. All right, we're going to put some olive oil into our pan. So marinara sauce is just a meatless tomato sauce. Whoa, let's give a round of applause to Smile Times. Nailed it. Green and yellow, two handles. That tool didn't come out today. Do you believe it? I use it all the time. It did not come out today. 4 more minutes, maybe about 6. Ooh, yeah, that's the one that didn't come out today. I didn't need it. Not sure why. Let's start our marinara sauce. Whoa. So I have all of our ingredients out on a tray. I find that to be the simplest thing that I do. I'm going to put in 1 diced onion and about 5 garlic cloves. Good. If you heard that sound, that means we heated it correctly. We're just going to soften those a bit. We're going to add, what do we add on top of our onions? This is getting to be old tips now. We add a little bit of salt on our onions. It'll make them caramelize faster. It'll also bring out any water. Oops, I can't go on that side now. I'll get a spatula from here. We're going to move that around, make sure that they're all heating properly. Now, the reason I'm using a saute pan for my marinara sauce is so that everything can evaporate. We don't have too much water. Now, I'm going to deglaze the pan. I put in the garlic, the salt, the onions, the olive oil. I'm going to deglaze the pan with a little bit of white wine. If you're deglazing it, you should hear a sound. Okay, heard the sound. I hear my timer going. Okay, I want to show you the bunny rolls. They're ready to go in. If you could look at these. Yeah, you can see that in the 30 minutes, look at how cute those ears look, especially this one. This one is adorable. They're soft. I'm going to go here. They have proofed a little bit. They're ready to go in, and I'm going to put those in right now. They cook for 15 minutes. I've set the timer. Let's go back to our marinara sauce. Pasta is really getting soft. It's looking good too. Those ears really came out. They did. We're going to put in, we put in half a cup of wine to deglaze. We're going to put in now some of my, I got it. This is some tomato passata I made in the summertime. So this isn't a stewed tomato. This is a passata, a little bit thicker. We're going to add that. I can smell the wine. It's really a nice smell. Now, would I like to have fresh basil in here? I sure would. I don't have any. So I'm going to use some that I dehydrated from the summer. and that's fine. Let's stir that up. That was a little bit chilled from being on the cupboard, so we're going to get that back. Spatula is not the best thing to be using. However, I've got a cupboard blocked, and that's where I would get another tool. So let's mix that up. It looks good. We're going to add into this now some basil, whatever suits your tastes a little bit. I'm just going to cover. So this basil I would have grown in my garden and then just hung to dry, not dehydrated, just hung off of a piece of string. And when it's done dehydrating, then I would just pulse it in the food processor, and there you have it. We're going to put in a little bit of fresh parsley. Mince it really gently, like tiny. You don't want big pieces of parsley sticking in your teeth. And we're going to put that into the marinara sauce. All right, let's go look at the marinara sauce on that. So this is really a more typical day around here because this is how I cook, is I cook a full meal at once. So you're seeing me making an entree, and I might be making a bread or a dessert. It all goes on at the same time. I would say that most kitchens do this kind of routine. All right, in this marinara sauce, it was simple ingredients. I didn't put any pepper in here. That I didn't do. I'm going to keep that out. I know that color, but that's that tomato from the summer. You can get them. You can pay more for your tomatoes. And in the GTA, I'm sure you have access to a lot more international products. But this is, from the summer. What we have in here is olive oil, 5 cloves of garlic, 1 onion, 1 quart of passata, some basil, and some parsley, and salt. That's simple. Oh, and a little white wine too. I don't think you can miss that. If you are not a wine drinker, you can always add in, and Bruiser's not here to go crazy, you can always add in some apple juice. Add in a dash of balsamic vinegar too. Okay, we're gonna let this just bubble away here, thicken up. Don't want it too high, don't want it too low. I'm gonna check in on that one tray I made that's big, that was pretty big. We're going to go over to our pasta now. The thing about this pasta maker, it is a Mercato, this one's a Mercato Atlas pasta maker. You can get them anywhere. I think even you can get these at Canadian Tire. This may have been an Amazon purchase, I'm not sure. I have to keep it over here though because it clamps to my cupboard. And by clamping it to the cupboard, I'm restricted. No, you know what? I think I can bring it over here. Let's try. Yeah, I think I can. Easy peasy. Yeah, I can. So you can see it. That's better. I have some different cutters. And I have chosen, though, there's a fettuccine. I just did what Allison said they do. You speak English and all of a sudden you come to an Italian thing and you go, fettuccine. And I just did exactly that. I don't know why we do that. I am going to be cutting, I could make some spaghettini, I could make some fettuccine. I like the spaghettini. I think it's a nice cut. And I've got some pasta water ready to go. So we're going to clear the knife away. If you look over the marinara, it's bubbling. I'm going to turn it down just a bit because I don't want it to make a mess over here. It's starting to. I might even do a little bit of this to keep the splattering going down. If it's splattering, that means that there's a lot of water in it. So I'm taking out the pasta dough that we made, and it is ready to be rolled. It has settled. It's nice. That's a lot, so I'm going to cut it in half, maybe even a third.
Nice sharp knife.
sharp knife on the plate. I'm going to take this little bit, and I've got some 00 flour over here. Just going to roll it a bit, because if you roll a really hydrated dough into the pasta machine, it's just going to get ragged, if that makes any sense. It gets a little bit, catches, and it gets a little bit fibrous. You want to have a good amount of 00 flour on it. The pasta maker goes from 0 to 8, I think. I'm going to start it on and the bigger one. So I'm going to start it on 0, and you can see that there's quite a bit of space, and that's how I use my handle, and that's how I get the pasta to start forming into a sheet. So I got this. Is it ready to roll? No, it's not ready to roll. And then you go a little bit up. So I'm going to go to the 3, and I've already can tell I need a little bit of flour to thin this out, or to absorb some of the moisture. Catch it? Yes, it's easier over there. There we go. I'm getting a sheet. It's nice. It's getting a little bit long, and it's going to be harder to handle, so just cut it in half. And then I'm going to go to a 7. I'm getting it quite thin. That might have been a big jump. It's not really secure. Yeah, it went jagged a little bit. That's okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of flour on it, double it again. I'm going to keep it at 6. I don't like the board here. It doesn't give me a secure base. All right, I'm getting a little bit nicer. If it goes like that, what's the problem? The problem is not enough flour. So let's coat it with some flour. Let's double it. Now, let's say you don't have a pasta maker. Use a rolling pin, and you could see the pasta grannies. They don't all have pasta machines. I got to work this with flour a bit more. This is a kind of a wet, hydrated pasta. Oh, now we're getting it. Okay, you can see it's now starting to take shape. So let's get it rolled through a few times. My grandson loves this machine. He loves anything that's a machine, actually. Okay, and we're going to now go to 6, because we're getting it a little thinner, and this might be the last time we have to run it through before we shape it. Oh yeah, that's lovely. You can see now, if I would have left that long sheet, I would have had too much. Here's what I'm going to actually cut into a pasta, and here was our first one. You can see the difference. There's a big difference in thickness. So let's just hold this one off. And let's get 2 sheets ready to go so that we can dump it all in at once. Go back down to a lower number to get it nice and smooth. We'll put some more flour. Marinara sauce is smelling really nice. You can smell it throughout the kitchen. Let's roll it a few more times with that extra flour. I love this longer stream too. Thanks for hanging in with me. You know, if you've got me in the background and you're cooking as well, or you're, checking other things, news, Instagram, like I do, I'm fine with that. I'm enjoying the realisticness of this, because this is really how a person cooks. It's not going to be done in an hour. If it is, well, maybe it's a HelloFresh kit, or it's a pretty easy meal to make. This is lovely. This is really lovely. Check this out. Okay, check this out. You can almost see, the knuckles of my hands coming through. You can see a shadow. That's lovely. If it's any thicker, you're going to have chewy pasta. All right, let's go to the fettuccine, and we're going to roll it. This machine, I saw some of those pasta grannies. Don't think they do everything by hand. I'm just checking out, going by my house. I've found out that those pasta grannies, there's even one that has an electric one. Look at that, folks. Look at that. we have fettuccine, and we're going to drop it right into our pre-boiling water. Now, some people say, oh, you should let it dry. I don't believe that. Tom and I talked about that yesterday. We really like the fresh right off of this cutter. Look how smooth it goes through. The cutting part is really the satisfying part. So this is 00 flour, semolina, eggs, and ice cold water. There you go. Let's dump that in.
Are you done?
And I still have this much. So did you see how much I got out of that? You know, this, look how soft this is. If you can use the overhead, look how soft this dough is. It's lovely. And all this, it's because of that extra fine semolina. So we can continue this, if you like. Well, my board is having a mind of its own right now. Remember, a little semolina to dry it up. Don't over-process it with flour because then you're going to have a very thick and chewy pasta. You want it tender, and it's the eggs in it that make it tender. I switch it back to the roller. This is an easy machine to clean. Some of you are saying, oh yeah, but you know, she's got to go clean that. It's not a hard machine to clean. I rinse it really lightly. I dry it completely. I leave it out in the open air. Yeah, this is nice again. And I just then grease a little bit in, I put a little bit of olive oil into the action so that it doesn't seize in any way. Just make sure there's no pasta left. You might enjoy a machine like this. They're not that expensive. The electric ones might be. I've never even thought of that. I've seen other people using it and I don't see the purpose. This is easy enough. All right, I'm taking out a nice, remember this is going to get too long, so we're going to cut it. I'm going to cut this in half. And we are going to run this through. I've noticed that this flour, this particular batch, likes 6. There, very nice, very nice, very nice. Look at that. Again, you can see my knuckles coming through. That's how thin that is. Let's go put this into the fettuccine. Yeah, I have some in there, so I could hang this, or I can just plop it in. But actually, I'm not going to make any more of it because I think I might be taking this to somebody. So we're going to plop that in. That's good. And I'm going to recover this. What did I do with that cling wrap? I threw it in the garbage. Anybody okay with that? I'm just going to take it out of the garbage and use it again. I am going to process this a little bit later. I'm going to cover that. That doesn't necessarily have to be used right now. Now, let's say you want to make yourself some pasta dough and you'd like, it's too much. You want it for the week. Put it in the fridge and cut off 100 grams per meal, one person. I hear that my bunny ears are ready to come out. I'm going to take those out. Oh my God, wait till you see the bunny ears. All right, these are amazing. Are you ready? Overhead. Now they squished, but they look like snails, but they squished. You know, I could reshape that while they're cooling. I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to take this one out and let that cool. I don't know if we'll get to ice them or frost them today. We might. I'm going to leave that on because I've got another batch to make. We're just waiting for the pasta to finish up. Something I saw one of my colleagues do is how to display pasta. And they used chopsticks to do it. I'm going to use this. So let's see if I can do it. I've not tried this, but I'm going to try it. While my pasta is finishing, we're going to make the frosting or glaze. Let's give this a little bit of a stir, the marinara sauce, if you want to bring camera over here. Yep, it's really going nice. You can see it, the smell is, it's so simple too. I mean, you could also make this use this on a focaccia or on a pizza. Maybe I'd put a little bit more oregano if it were
Pineapple.
for that.
Pineapple.
No pineapple. All right, we're going to make a little bit of some glaze. This is about 1.5 cups. A thing I forgot to do in the bunny ears is I forgot to brush it with an egg wash before baking it. You would have got them browner, but I don't necessarily know if that's a really good thing because, well, who wants that? It's supposed to be a nice light spring thing. So what I'm doing is I'm adding, simply adding a little bit of marmalade into this. I'm probably going to have to add a little, I could add milk or I could add a little bit of water. I first want to try and combine the marmalade into the powdered sugar. Let's add a couple drops of water. Not much. Test it first. You could add some lemon. I'd have to bring out my tool though, wouldn't I? Thanks for everybody for showing up today. Yeah, this is going to be how our stream goes. I found that the other way I was rushing through things, and I was doing things in not a really, no, I was appetizing. Not in a really organic or authentic, that's the word I'm looking at, because nobody cooks in an hour and turns out the kind of meals. So some of that stuff was pre-cooked, and I found that to be a little bit too much prep. Not real. If you can't stay this long, I understand. We're going to turn this down a little bit now. Now there's the water's really getting out of it, so we're going to turn that down. I'm going to finish this. See what I'm getting? I'm getting a thick paste. I want it a little bit thinner, so just add water or lemon juice or milk or cream. All right, if you notice, I've got this kind of consistency. That's nice. All right, I like this. Now do you see what I have? Now I've got a thinner glaze. The one outside is probably still pretty, all right, pretty hot. So let's just wait a bit. I just made it. Okay, our pasta's done. We're going to bring it out. I like this pasta pot that I have because I can make a small batch and I can keep the water. I don't have to strain it. You'll see that it's one of these. It's what an industry kitchen would use. And I like it because you're not wasting that water in between batches. If you want to make a different kind of pasta, your water's there. All right, there's our pasta. What I want to do, I want to try. Where's my snippies? Oh, here they are. Let's try this on the overhead. I may not be able to do this, but let's try it. Yes, real time is better. Let us know how long it would realistically take. No need for TV magic. Keep it real. Thank you. That's what my daughter suggested to me as well, that Speakeasy channel. All right, so I made a little pile of pasta. Look how nice that looks. There's nothing like that out of a package. So this is what my colleague does. I don't know how they do it, to tell you the truth. He spun it. I don't think I can do it.
What do you think?
Well, I'm trying to make it spin around. I can't do it. So we're gonna abandon that until I can ask more questions. We're gonna put a little bit of pasta on the plate. You can see the tenderness of this pasta. This is not from a package. And the taste, you can smell the eggs. It's so much different than, maybe, yeah. I'm just trying to plate. I mean, you see me playing with it, but I'm trying to plate it. And that's some of the skills that I'm still developing. All right. Yum. And now we're just going to put a little bit of marinara on that. Something I haven't done. I didn't saute vegetables. Let's do that. So I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to get out another pan, and I'm going to saute a few vegetables that'll just be tossed on top of that. Let's get that going. Okay, get my pan hot. While my pan's getting hot, I'm going to, these have been washed, but they haven't been chopped yet. So let's go into the zucchini. We're gonna half moon the zucchini so it's down the middle. And then just make some half moons. These are great. I mean, grilled, this is great. But you can saute these and then keep them in your fridge and use them the whole week. And we're going to put some red pepper in there. We'll just do some little dices. All right, let's get some oil in there. Our pan's hot, yeah. Okay, we're gonna put in the zucchini. I like that smell. Just toss those, and then we're just gonna slice these into real fine strips. This is gonna go on top of our pasta. I don't think I'll do the mushrooms. That might be overkill. Yep, just my fingernail. All right, toss that in there. I mean, this is nice color. Yeah. Alexa talks to us now and again. This afternoon, we are doing income tax. And I'll bet Tom forgot that. Nope. That is our plan, and nobody wants to get there. Nobody wants to do it. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to those veggies. All right, that will now, let's add a little bit more oil to the top of them. Our food is pretty clean, so it's okay to add a little bit more oil to it. These would be great grilled. They'll be okay sauteed. All right, we're gonna let that saute for a bit, and let's now plate our pasta. Dipped it back into the water to keep it nice and fresh and moist. That's the nice thing about this pot. Okay. Smells nice. Peppers always smell nice, don't they? All right, and we're going to put on a little bit of the marinara sauce. Done really well. It's not full of water anymore. It's a really nice, rich, simple sauce. Okay, we're going to shut that off. So we've got pasta, marinara sauce. You can put cheese on that. We don't need to right today because we have a few of these veggies that are going to go on it. Let's just put a little bit on either side of that pasta. Nice. Might even just go across it like that. Yeah, cheese would be nice on here, but we don't need to today. Okay, I'm going to just put this over here. All right, we have got our pasta, homemade marinara with some sauteed veggies on it. The rolls over here are cooling. This one I set outside on its own. We're going to just glaze it a bit with some of this frosting I made. Wrong tool. Check out this tool. This was my grandmother's. Okay, we're just going to put a little bit of frosting. It might even be good that it's a little warm. Yeah. Okay, look at that. And there you have it. You could put a little bit on the ears if you want. I kind of like them not. All right, we have got a pasta, homemade pasta with a marinara sauce and some sauteed vegetables on top. Put some cheese on there and you've got a great meal. And we've got from scratch an Easter bunny orange sweet roll. Delicious food, and it was all made here, and I like that. We are, next week we're coming back and we're going to be making some enchiladas. We had to source out some of those chilies, and we have those. Thank you for everybody who showed up today. Thank you for, looks awesome. I bet you it's going to taste awesome too. You know, Tom starts saying, pointing at the clock because he wants the stream to stop so he can eat this. So listen, enjoy your weekend, enjoy Family Day, enjoy whoever you feel like you belong to tomorrow. Until then, I'll see you next week.